Yo, my little goblins are back at it with the deck profile, and this time we are eating some little sweets. I'm supposed to be on a diet. That hasn't been working too well, and this isn't going to help either. So, we're playing Madolche. So, Madolche, one of the big cards that they got from the new set is the Vernisylph cards. And we are actually playing with Vera Vernisylph. So, this card is absolutely nuts if you actually get it on the field. So this card has multiple effects, but the first effect that you need to look out for is if you have 5 or more earth monsters, you can negate active monster activations and destroy the card. But then you also have these other effects where once per turn you can target one face-up monster your opponent control, take control of it, and it becomes an earth. This is nuts because this is a permanent take. So it just takes the card and you just have it now. So this card's really, really good. Like, this effect's really powerful. But the second part, you know how I just showed you guys? Well, you guys are about to see me do the barrier statue combo. This is the other way you would get the barrier statue out, is you send the barrier statue to the graveyard. You have Vera Vernisylph on the field, and then you use it on your opponent's draw step. You will use this card effect to bring back the barrier statue. So the opponent is locked out of the game. So this is another big component of being able to lock your opponent out. There's multiple ways of going into it. Sometimes you just go misting into the Vernisylph, and then if you have another Vernisylph in your hand, you can just send it to the graveyard and then bring it back. So there's a few ways of getting to it, but yeah, Small World is here. Small World can bridge into Herald of Orange Light. You can use this to search some of your Vernisylph cards, so it's pretty important. Just mind yourself when you're using it so you don't mess it up. But yeah, the deck just got a lot stronger just due to the fact that the Vernisylph is in the game. I am going to tell you this right now, though. Vernisylph is going to get a lot better if... This deck will get a lot better. I'll talk more about it in the recap, but it'll get a lot better when Konami deals with either Tier Limit or Ishizu. Mainly Ishizu, because the Ishizu cards really bone the Vernisylph gameplay. So when you activate the Vernisylph cards, you know how you resurrect a card, you bring back a card. If they just naturally have like Medora or Keldo in the graveyard, they can just completely make your Vernisylph cards do nothing, pretty much. So if they end up somehow dealing with those cards, then this will get a bit better. But currently, they're going to be, you have to be a little careful when you're playing them. So this is typically, you want to go first with this deck so you can lock your opponent out. Going second, we'll talk about more of that in the recap. How about that? So let's, we're going to go into a combo guide first so you guys can see how the beginning board's supposed to look like. We'll go into a few games and then the recap. Alrighty. Hello guys, we're here with the combo guide, and just to show you, this is a normal hand that you would open. Well, first with this hand you would want to use Vernisylph of the Awakening Forests. We would actually be pitching the Pettingsis here, and with that we are going to be sending Barrier Statue to the graveyard, and then we are going to grab the Pettingsis and play it, and then this activates. Now we're just going to be, this is like a standard, pretty much what we're going to be doing here is going to be a very standard Madolche opening. So you're going to go into Glass Souffle, going to activate. We're going to activate because we need, we actually need a Madolche card in the graveyard. I need to make sure when you do activate this card, it's very, very important that you do not use the shuffle effect, obviously, right now, because that will come, but not for right now. So we're gonna shuffle. This is gonna activate, which we get rid of the Glass Souffle, and we're gonna use that to summon Hoot Cake. Then Hoot Cake is going to activate to banish this. Then we go into our ability here, which also triggers And this allows us to grab Saloon. Saloon's actually a really good grab here. Play Saloon. Then we can normal summon with the Saloon. Then we can activate Angeli just to get a card in the graveyard. But to go into this, and then this triggers to grab that. This all looks a little wild right now, but I can assure you it all makes sense in some universe. Alright. Shuffle, shuffle. Activate, activate. I don't worry about putting the pudding cyst in the graveyard. We're going to shuffle it back. So here it does not matter as much what we summon. And since we have Pomade in hand, we can just set this card. Take it. And now this is where you activate the glass teacher effect. 1, 2. So you're going to use the Chateau to add the barrier statue back to hand. And then this, I'm just going to send it back to the deck. Now we activate Ticket. And boom, boom. We go into Fresh Sister Tart. We normal summon our bro, and then boom. This is how you get to the Madolche board. Yes, if your opponent has interruption, this might not look exactly the way you want it, but this is essentially how you do it. So look what we got. We got Chateau, we got Ticket, we got Saloon, we got a Negate, we have Protection with Glaceau, and most importantly, we do have a Lockout, so our opponent cannot play the game unless they deal with Barrier Statue first. So it's pretty good. And for those who might say, oh, well, you can Lightning Storm this board. Well, you can Lightning Storm if you choose a back row. It's all protected from Fresh Sister. And then if they choose to attack, the only card that would be dying would be the Barrier Statue. But you could also just negate it with Promenade. So it's not that big of a deal. But this is how you do it. This is the ideal board. Let's get to some games so you guys can see how the deck actually plays in live games. Hello everybody, we're here, we're playing against whatever the fuck that is, and I gotta say our hand looks a little juice. We're gonna get that Varicel. So you might be saying, okay, this seems a little weird doing this, but we're getting rid of pretty much Maxi, so we can ideally set up a Barrier Statue against our opponent. I think it's a pretty good trade-off. Also, I just want to say there's only going to be 2 games that we show today, and that's because I had to bring my, I guess, grandmother-in-law to the hospital, which was not too fun. The ER, had to wait 7 hours to get seen. Like, we brought him at 4 o'clock. I think we got seen around like 11. And then finally, by the time everything's done, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, I had nothing done for the video, so let me get some games in. So, as you can see, we're doing our pudding nonsense. I also want to mind you, when you use Petting Cess, so this is very important, when you use Petting Cess, it locks you into Madolche, so you actually cannot special summon anything besides Madolche. So if you have Vernisylph cards, you need to make sure you're activating them before you do anything else, okay? And also, always discard the Pudding Cess, this card, last, because that's the only reason why this has an activation. This card doesn't work unless the Pudding Cess is attached to it. So we're going to shuffle. This is going to let me special summon another carrier. I get my Pomade. Then we set. So, pretty much similar to the board you guys seen me make, except now we have the Vera build. So, this is like, if you can't get the Barrier Statue the way I had it ideally, because I don't think we had enough Madolche cards in our hand to do it. So this is the Vera version of doing it. So he's gonna Maxi. I technically could have negated Maxi with Vera, chose not to, because I don't know what he's playing. And he does reinforcement. He's playing Reinhardt. He's playing tier limit. So here we have an enemy to root against. Guy's a scumbag. Instant fusion seems like a pretty good card to negate, considering the card is absolutely vile. Good job banning it at least. And then he ended. So just because he ended does not mean we do anything. So this is what I was talking about. So he's activating this card here, but we're just gonna suck up his Reinhardt. He's gonna flip my card down, which is actually really annoying because then that means I can't negate anymore. Because I would have had 5 Earth monsters on the field, so I could have negated. But now he gets a free fusion out of this. He goes into Kit Kalios, but Kit Kalios actually doesn't really do anything here, right? The Havness is annoying, but look, I just go into Abyss Dweller, it's GG. Trust me, I think of everything. My opponent concedes because they're a crybaby, and they're just mad that they can't play their 300 cards on my turn either. They're like, I couldn't play 300 cards on my turn or your turn. Damn it. Hello, my little goblins. We're here with the second and final game against Wind, and this person's setting 3 in passing. So this is against a really... I'll explain exactly what it is. If they set 3 pass and they're wearing these sleeves, they're most likely playing Labyrinth. So I just normal summon Barrier Statue because he can't activate Welcome Labyrinth with Barrier Statue on the field. He's going to activate Max C. We're gonna cross out. I mean, he's probably gonna have removal for the barrier, but remember how awkward it is because usually they want to chain removal with welcome, so they get the trigger off of the removal too, right? Like their creature will get like a trigger. He debarriers me, so I just have to attack. Pass. Technically, I could have gone to Fresh Sistart, but I decided not to, because it was kind of pointless. He goes into Labyrinth, Shangri-La, Chandelier. He sets a Welcome Labyrinth. Remember, Welcome Labyrinth does nothing right now. He's going to, in my standby phase, do all this. Technically, he could activate Welcome Labyrinth, right? Yeah, he could activate Welcome Labyrinth here, and he could have summoned Mommy. And then the pop would have had, you know what I mean? So this tells me, him not doing that tells me that this is also a removal card. At least that's what I would assume. So he pops my card. This is fine. It goes back into the deck. Activate my Vernasilif cards. They're all broken, so bring back Barrier Statue. I play Barrier Statue because if I know he has Welcome. Again, if he has removal, it fucks him over. Here comes Vera Vernasilf. I go into combat. He imperms me, and then it's this. So this was very bizarre to me, because like this last card, I would have obviously thought it was removal, and I was fine with that. Like he pops my Vernasilf, or he pops this, and then he could actually welcome. I was a little confused. I was not expecting imperm. This is fine too, though. Because I was actually, like, whatever he did, I was hoping whatever he did, because I could just combo with Angeli and just build a board. So we summon Petting Sis, which summons a Pudding. We go into Glace Souffle, Chocolat a la Mode, shuffle a card back. We get Birdo out. And then we do this. I know this looks bizarre, but we just need space. I don't want to get rid of Vera, because Vera, I'm going to steal his card anyway. So, yep, he's fucked. So now we have a negate, and we have his own Labyrinth. And that's why Vera's pretty good. Hello and welcome to the recap. Thank you for watching this far, and please consider subscribing. It helps out the channel greatly, and it makes me not cry at night, which is pretty helpful. Also, join the Discord. Discord's down below. We host weekly tournaments. So, yeah, look forward to that. It's hosted on Friday. And we might expand into other card games. I've been talking about it with my brother. And we think it might be a good idea to expand to other card games. So on Yu-Gi-Oh! It might be a little slow or stale. We also are posting other card game content. So let's talk about the deck. The deck, it performed pretty good. I would say I was a little tilted because, like I said, I was tired from the hospital and all that stuff. But overall, we pretty much had like a 55% win rate. We were playing mid diamond, so like think of like diamond 3. We did climb a rank, so we went from diamond 4 to diamond 3. So that in itself was pretty good. I'm gonna say this right now, against Tearlament, going second, I almost like insta scooped if I didn't have an opening hand trap, because it's just not possible. It's like not really realistic to go against that deck without having some type of hand trap in the opening, or yeah, it just wasn't realistic. I would also recommend that possibly going into Abyss Dweller super early turn 1 might be better than, like, if you can't do the barrier stack shoot, Abyss Dweller might be better, because I feel like, I mean, Abyss Dweller just seems better against Tearlament anyway, because you just normal summon, kill the barrier, and then just full combo you anyway, so I don't know. I would say going first, though, we had a very good win rate. Going second was pretty bad. I think the way we can fix the going second win rate, it's not because our extensions were bad, because Madolche is, like, I think historically, like, do very well at killing your opponent, because we have Madolche Tiramisu, and this card, like, shuffles cards back to the deck. I actually had some pretty cool replays. Well, they weren't that cool, but they were, like, funny replays against playing against people who let me Tiramisu, and they just shuffle their cards back to the deck. They realize what it does, and then they just concede. I did it to someone's DPE, which was pretty funny, but I didn't show it just because the matches were kind of like, meh, they were kind of like whatever. I feel like they didn't showcase the deck too well. But yeah, I still think the deck's actually pretty good. It's a lot better. The fact that I'm able to climb in mid diamond, which is arguably the most competitive diamond format you can be in, because diamond 1's kind of like, you just play against people who don't give a shit, you know what I mean? So diamond, like mid diamond, people are trying to win. So the fact that we're able to climb in mid diamond with this deck kind of speaks to the deck itself. Like, it's pretty good. Like I said, going first definitely helps a lot. I know you see Gallant Granite here. I think it's a good card. I think these are all good, but I see some people running 3 glass souffles, and it might, like, that might be the choice. I actually do have 3. I decided not to run 3, but if you were gonna run 3, you'd probably just cut an extra deck card, like Nightmare Unicorn or something, or Blackluster Soldier. But other than that, I thought the deck was pretty damn good. Yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, I would probably put this at a power scale like 7.5. I know that sounds bad, but you have to remember I'm scaling this according to the current format, and the current format, I'm sorry to say, is pretty AIDS. Right? The current format sucks. And when I say it sucks, you guys, if you're playing Tearlament, you're having a blast, good time. But for a lot of other decks, it's not that fun. You have to, like, almost everything. Anyone who says, oh, I'm playing this, dude, you have to, like, main deck, like Soul Drain, like all these banish, like Defissure and stuff, just to even compete against Tearlament. It's really annoying. And you really, like, I want you to play your deck without those cards and play it into Tearlament, and you'll feel how painful that is. Like, if you're not running, like, those hate cards against the deck, it feels so bad playing against it. But yeah, I think you guys, if you guys craft this deck, or if you're a fan of Madolche and you have the Madolche cards already, I think it's a good rogue deck to make. And on a tier list, I'm gonna say this is a rogue deck. It's not quite tier 3. I don't think it's quite tier. Obviously, if it's not tier 3, it's not tier 2. But it's not a meme deck in whatsoever. I think it still has very strong combo potential. But I would say it's a rogue deck because you're not going to really see it on ladder. And if you do, you're probably happier seeing this deck than you're seeing some of the other decks in the format. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know it was a bit shorter. Let me know how you feel about it being shorter. I don't know. Personally, for me, when I'm watching people who do games and stuff like duels and stuff like that. Personally, I like longer videos, so I'd like to hear what you guys think. And what do you guys also think about me doing like maybe MTG, like Magic the Gathering content as well on top of the Yu-Gi-Oh content? I just want you to know that if I do additional card content, it would be an addition to. It would not be like I'm replacing the Yu-Gi-Oh content. Like if I streamed Magic content, it would be an additional streaming day. It wouldn't take away the streaming days I already have. So yeah, let me know down below. All right, goodbye.